friends. Oh my goodness. I just did my hair this morning, and it's third day hair, so it's looking a little bit funny. I'm gonna wait for a few of you guys to show up, see if anybody comes this early. Usually we have afternoon tea, but we're going to do breakfast instead. I'm sitting here with my beautiful harp. I'm going to play you some fabulous things on the harp. Ooh, hopefully it doesn't fall over. I just tuned it. Oh, Sylvia, hi. I'm so happy you're here. Yay. And there's 4 people here. Oh, that's so great. Well, I missed you too. You know, last week I had, I was having this problem with my eye. I've been good. I've been very, very busy. My voice is a little bit raspy this morning. It sounds like I probably just need some coffee, you know. But yes, I've been so busy with lessons. So many of you guys have been reaching out and it's been so fun. It's been awesome to get to know you guys and connect and everything. So I've been so busy. Oh, Michael, hi, Michael Stokes, yay. So shall we have some coffee? I think it's time for some coffee, a little banana muffin. You know what I have to tell you, I'm very spoiled. My other half makes these. And he brought me some coffee this morning, but I really wasn't hungry or feeling like coffee yet, so we're gonna enjoy it together now. While he's at work, he's over there working. It's very wonderful, aren't you? Say hi. Okay, well, today is a kind of a rainy-ish day here in Philadelphia. Although we don't really live in the city, we live in, oh my goodness, hello, I'm so happy you're here. Thank you, thank you. I wish I could know how to say your name. The script is so beautiful, I love that. So I always like to have cream. Gotta have cream. Like if you can fatten it up at all, then that stamp of approval, that's what I like to have. So I'm gonna pour some coffee. And you know, ever since we went to Costa Rica, oh Sylvia, what did you say? Oh, Stefan, hi, I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you so much. I've been seeing your comments. Thank you. Ever since we went to Costa Rica for my birthday, we fell in love with Costa Rican coffee. And so this is fabulous Costa Rican coffee. And, you know, if you don't already make your own, you know, grind your own coffee, make your own coffee, you know, fresh, you should start doing that. So small little things like that. Pamper yourself and have a nice cup of coffee in the morning. Or whenever. That's what I think. So cheers, my dears. Happy breakfast time. I hope you've all been doing well in the world. Have you guys been busy? I know so many of my students have been just really, really busy because now that everybody's working from home. Did you try this technique? Which technique, Stefan? I'm not sure which one. Also, where are you from? Where are you from? What was I talking about? I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, a lot of my students have been saying they've been so busy. Ehnes, E-H-N-E-S. I have no clue where that is. Where is that? What country is that in? So, yeah, I've been so busy as well. Canada? Are you being funny? You're spelling Canada K-A-N-N-A-D-A, or maybe I have no clue where you are from. I'm sorry. Well, anyway, you know, I'm blonde, so I can play the blonde card. How about that? Yeah, so a lot of people have been really, really busy, and I am one of them. My schedule on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays, please try it. YouTube. I'm just not sure what you're saying, Stefan. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure what you're saying. If there's a special YouTube technique, maybe I need to, you know, look more into that. I'm kind of technologically challenged. I'm a bit technologically challenged. So, do I look really tired? Is it this lighting? Maybe I need another light. Well, here, hold on 1 second. Let me just open the blinds a little bit, see if that helps. I have been busily teaching, which has been wonderful. And yesterday was my day off, and I did absolutely nothing. absolutely nothing. Is that better? Is that better or not? Well, let's have some breakfast. It's finally time to eat a banana muffin. And you know what else I like to do? I like to put a little peanut butter on them. So let me put a little peanut butter on this. Freshly made banana muffins are wonderful. Do you guys, when you wake up from the, when you wake up, do you eat breakfast right away? A lot of people are on this kind of fasting thing. It's directly over your heart. Over my harp? This? I'm still not sure what you're talking about. I'm so sorry, Stefan. Yes, coffee, Michael. Yes. So coffee and muffin. Yum. I saw you said something, Sylvia. Did you have a question? Ask me a question since I'm here. Yum. Do you guys do I deserve to become spoiled rotten? I am. I'm pretty well spoiled rotten. Yes, cup of coffee. I know a lot of people have been doing this, fasting thing where you eat breakfast at maybe 12 or something. I know, I'm very lucky. So I've been kind of trying to do that a little bit. There was a point, I think it honestly was just because of my schedule, where I was just so busy. I would teach from like 12 sometimes or I would have to leave to drive to wherever my studio was. At like around 12, and then I would be done at like 9 or 10. And so and with my teaching schedule, sometimes I don't have a break. So I wouldn't have any time to eat anything. So I would kind of naturally be fasting from, some time until in the morning. And I always felt really good when I did that. I don't know if you guys have ever tried that whole fasting thing, just for like a 15, 16 hours overnight. But I've been trying that out this week because, when we're at home, we're just nibbling all the time, like munching on stuff, munching on this, munching on that. And I just was starting to feel really gross. So it's been nice to just not eat after. Am I a soloist or do I play in an orchestra? No, you know what? I don't do any of that anymore. No, and it's mostly because my teaching schedule is just so busy that I don't even have time to go do orchestra rehearsals or anything like that. Women composers, I saw your comment, Sylvia. I just caught the thing about women composers. I have a colleague who, she's an incredible pianist. I follow her on Instagram. We went to school together. You wait till your stomach hurts and then that's when you eat, yes. Yeah, that's good. Then you know what? We're pretty much on the same schedule. We're pretty much on the same schedule then, Michael, it sounds like. Yeah, women composers, that's pretty interesting. I have a friend who's playing all of the women composers' music on Instagram. So her name is Anna Pianista or something. I forget what her Instagram handle is, but if you follow me on Instagram, just look at the people I follow. Anna Pianista, I think is her Instagram handle. Are you guys ready to hear some harp? Here's what I've been doing in the morning. Every morning, I stay in bed for as long as possible because I usually start teaching around, 12 or sometime around then. So I have a very relaxing morning. I'll do a little exercise, I'll do a little yoga or some kind of Jillian Michaels routine or something. But lately, I have been just grabbing my harp and playing, just improvising stuff in the morning. So, first of all, hopefully I don't drop this. Okay. I can't believe it's taken me, 30 years to buy a harp. Because, we go together like peanut butter and jelly, me and this thing. It's, the easiest thing to play. I have been waking up and just improvising, just playing some stuff. I'll have my breakfast, and then I will just play through some stuff. So I have a whole series on the modes, but it's so easy to, oh, thank you so much. Thank you. It's so easy to hear these modes with a harp. So the first mode that we're going to hear today is the Ionian mode, and it is basically a major scale. So my harp is tuned in E flat major, so I'm going to, let's see what I'll do here. I'm going to keep this fifth going. This is E flat and B flat that I'm playing. And then here's our Ionian mode. That again. This is the first time I've played the harp this morning. It does sound a little bit out of tune as well. So that's the Ionian mode, and it's really, really beautiful. I mean, that's our major scale. The modes date way back to, you know, ancient Greece, at least, maybe even older. That's our first kind of record of them, you know, that's the oldest account of music theory that we have, I think. It's from the ancient Greeks, at least in Western music. So if we were to go up one scale degree, so that was the E flat Ionian mode. And basically, the Ionian mode is equivalent to a major scale. So if we were to go, instead of starting on an E flat, if I start on the next note in the alphabet, which is F, if I start on an F, if I go up one note, that's called the Dorian mode. So we are now going to play an F Dorian scale. So, or an F Dorian mode, I guess is more correct to say it. So I'm going to just play my F and my C. This is a fifth. And you know, the Dorian mode was really an important mode to the ancient Greeks, although I don't know if this was, they kind of, what we call the Dorian mode might not really be what they called the Dorian mode, is what I'm trying to say. I can't really remember. I remember reading that in a history book somewhere, which really confused me, and now I've confused you, so. But anyway, in fiddle music, the Dorian mode is used a lot. Medieval music, it's used a lot, what we call the Dorian mode at least. And it's one of my favorite modes, so it's very grounding sounding. Let me try that again. I'm not really sounding very good this morning. So the interesting thing with the Dorian mode is it has if you were to think of the scale degrees, we're on an F, so F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then F would be 1 again. So we have 7 notes, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, and then back to F, which would be back to 1 again. So the third scale degree has been lowered. But unlike a minor scale, the 6th scale degree is raised, and the 7th scale degree is lowered. So the 3rd and 7th scale degree is lowered. So it doesn't sound really sad like a minor scale. Lowered 3rd, lowered 6th, lowered 7th. Although I love the minor scales as well. That's called the Aeolian mode, when it's just the minor scale, our natural minor scale. So anyway, that's the Dorian mode. And you know what? I've been playing a lot of stuff in the Dorian mode, so let me play something for you. Let's improvise a little bit. So this song goes out to you guys. Thank you so much for being And we need another little sip of coffee. Here we go. We're gonna go to the next one up, which is the Phrygian mode. And of course, I am playing all of this with the, would you recommend practicing? Oh yes, practice the modes on the violin and then viola. Actually, on Patreon, I have a whole series taking you all the way through the modes. It's patreon.com/violin viola masterclass. It's just $1. You can cancel anytime. And I did that during the holidays, so you'll see me like wearing a witch's hat. I think on one of them, there's like all the Christmas decorations, the fall decorations, I'm pretty sure. But yes, and you know what? It's so interesting to study the modes because that's our first beginning understanding of music, you know? Rather than thinking about major and minor scales. And, you know, major and minor scales are, at least to my understanding of them, are really dependent on this triad of the one. So here's an E flat major chord. It's really dependent on the third because that makes it sound major, it makes it sound happy. Versus the minor scale, which has a minor third. That one sounds sad. This is a C minor chord here. But in really old music, the third really wasn't that important in the concept of tonality. It was really just the 1 and 5, which was very, very important. So that doesn't sound major or minor. I could start on any of these. It's the same thing. Sounds very, you know, ancient Greek-like. But a lot of our medieval music, when you accompany, you know, the melody, at least this is my understanding of it, you don't necessarily need to always have the third in the chords. You can just play the 1 and the 5, or you can just play the 1. And having a drone in the background is, you know, kind of a more traditional way of accompanying. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for your comment. I just can't read Spanish. I'm so sorry. But hola, thank you for being here. Okay, so let's go up to the Phrygian mode. The Phrygian mode in this case, remember we started on E flat. That's our, in this case, our major scale up because my harp is tuned in E flat major. So E flat is the Ionian mode. Sounds like a major scale. I just played you the Dorian mode. This is one of my favorite modes. And to do that, I just started on the 2nd scale degree of E flat since my harp is tuned in E flat. The Dorian mode would be an F Dorian mode. Okay, so the next one we have up the 3rd scale degree of E flat, F, G. I'm going to start on the 3rd scale degree, which is a G. This is the Phrygian mode. This is really weird. This one starts on a half step. Do you hear jaws here? So that's the only scale that starts on a half step. At least, sorry, that's the only mode that starts on a half step. I can't remember if the Locrian mode does. We'll get there. But yeah, this one's a little creepy sounding. Let's see. So we're starting on a G, so I'm gonna start here. Let's see what this sounds like. You just right away, you hear how it sounds a little creepy. This is like a Halloween one. So if I was to, I guess, improvise with something like that, and what I'm doing is I'm attempting to, yeah, it sounds a little bit Eastern, doesn't it? I'm going to attempt to play the 1 and the 5. So that would be, in this case, a G and a D. I'm going to keep that going, and then I'm going to play something using kind of the first 5 notes mostly, and then I might skip around a little bit. So let's see, let's try doing. That might be easier for me. So cool. It's just so fun to play this instrument. You need one. You definitely need to get one. Especially, I think it helps to learn music from this perspective, because when you're learning music on the violin and on the viola, you don't have all of your notes in front of you, so you can't really see how they're related. You have your fingers and your hand patterns, and you have to develop your inner sense of, you know, intervals and pitch and everything. But yeah, it's so fun to learn many instruments at the same time. So I mean, you could basically do this on the piano too if you have a piano. It's the same thing. The piano is just tuned in the key of C. So I know. I'm so glad you want one. I'm so glad. This is a Lewis Creek harp. And it has these levers up here. There's different kinds of levers. I didn't really know that, but there's different kinds of levers. These are called Truett levers, I think. Anyway, I like them because they are gold, and I thought we would look good together. But there's other kinds of levers that are easy, like maybe easier to lift if you're going to be changing, you know, the lever. Because if I was to lift this, then it would be raising it a half step. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to have to. I think it's going to maybe like mess with the, you know, the intonation a little bit. My strings are just having a funny time, I think. But anyway, yeah, so Lewis Creek harp, Truett levers, love it, so beautiful. So that was the Phrygian mode. We had another little sip of coffee. Otherwise it's gonna get cold. We can't have cold coffee. We can if it's iced coffee or if it's blended, you know, with ice, and that's perfectly fine. Topped with whipped cream, maybe a little shot of Bailey's, but just plain cold, regular hot coffee is not appetizing. So, okay, we have the Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, and then the Lydian. The Lydian starts on the 4th scale degree, and it's very, very magical. This one has a raised 4th scale degree. So listen to this. Let's see. I get a little bit lost here. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So that's the only thing. So when I'm talking about raising or lowering scale degrees, I'm in relation to a typical major scale. So in the major scale, you'd have do, re, mi, let's see, do, re, mi, fa. Oh, it's like stuck in my head. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, re, mi, fa, mi, fa, mi, fa. There's a little half step there. They are, yes, the modes are used in classical music. They're in the really, really old music, so like the medieval kinds of music and folk music, although that's not classical music, I guess. But yes, the modes are an important thing, and they're very, very cool to learn, especially if you learn them in a way that's connected to feeling, because music does make us feel a particular way. And if I was to just sit here and play like something that's in a minor key for an hour for you, let's say you were like a king or a queen, and I was like, okay, it's time for bed, I'm gonna, you know, play for you. How would you feel if I played you a minor scale, you know, for an hour? You probably might feel a bit sad, you know? Although if you were feeling sad and you needed to, you know, be a match to something sad too, you know, so that you didn't feel alone in the world, then maybe hearing something minor would be great. Wouldn't that be nice? So yeah, anyway, sometimes my other half gets serenaded, don't you? Sometimes get serenaded before bed. So Okay, let's hear the Lydian mode. Yes, the Lydian mode is, this one just puts me in a different world. This is just such a cool sound. It's a little visually confusing for me to see on the harp, so I hope I don't mess up, but it's a little, it's confusing for me to see, so. There's the raised fourth. So let's hear a little improvisation with that using the first 5 notes. And I'm going to try and emphasize the 4th scale degree a lot because that's the one that's tweaked. Oops, see, I told ya. Dissonance is really important. If there's no dissonance, then things get a little boring. Whoa, oh my goodness, sorry. That was not very good. Let me try another one. So let's see. Like you'd just dream of fairies if you were, you know, falling asleep to something like this. Okay, so that is the Lydian mode. We have the Mixolydian mode. That starts on the 5th scale degree. So E flat, F, G, A was the Lydian, and then the 5th scale degree. So the modes are not major and minor. They are not major and minor at all, actually. That kind of comes later in music history. So we were talking about that earlier. Major and minor scales are dependent on the 1st and 3rd scale degree. Could you go to the jail and torture the prisoners with harp music? I could. I totally could. They could hear me like try to pluck out these notes and make mistakes and all that kind of thing. Okay, so let's go to the Mixolydian mode. This is another common mode. The Mixolydian mode is very similar to a major scale, but the 7th scale degree is lowered. It's very spiritual sounding. I love the Mixolydian mode. Let's see. Hold on a second, that's not it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Okay. There's our altered note. See, this one starts like a major scale. We have that major triad there. There's the 3rd. It's a major 3rd. I was playing something in the Mixolydian mode this week. This is the 5th scale degree I'm plucking right here. Here's the 1. 1, all the way to 5. Here's the 7th. Oops, there's the 7th. Resolving to 5, but it doesn't end until I get back to 1. And if you want to conclude, just, play a dissonant note, like the 7th against our little drone here, and then resolve to 1, and it does. Oh, Brian, I'm so happy you're here. Yay. Okay, we are almost done. I actually have to go meet, my friend is opening her store for an hour today, and I thought I would bring my harp and go play for her. And then there's another friend of mine has a cafe. It's called the Garden Cafe, and she grows all the produce there, and she's opening for just a small amount of time today too. So I'm gonna go be socially distant with my friends and try really hard to not give them a hug. I'm gonna just have to give myself a hug and look at them and pretend that I'm giving them a hug. So okay, that was the Mixolydian mode. That's one of my favorite. What is the price? Okay, so you know what? This harp was $3,500. It's a handmade harp. It was important to me as a musician already to get a good one that I would like the sound of. And I did research harps a little bit. There's, of course, cheaper ones that you can get, but I didn't really know that I would like the sound as much. And so, because sometimes, and this is sometimes the case with violins and violas too. A lot of the times with violas, they can sound like this a little bit. I just didn't want to play a harp that sounded like this. So, and I wanted it to have a really rich, like middle, lower voice. That's the Dorian mode, by the way. I always go to that one. And then these, they're not like super piercing sounding. So, and then the richness of these lower ones, because I'm a violist, so I wanted a nice rich middle register there. So Lewis Creek harps, although you can get some other ones, not from him, but you can get, he makes actually other kinds of instruments too. And I think they're probably a little bit cheaper, but there's also on my Instagram, like somewhere, I think it was in October, if you kind of go back a ways in October, I was playing a small little harp. I forget what that's called. It's like literally, it looks like an egg, and it's so easy and fun to play. And those are about $500, I think. Are the strings intentionally supposed to have different colors? Yes. They have different colors visually. So all of the reds are a C. Isn't it funny? This is called Violin Viola Masterclass, and we're like learning about the harp right now. So, the reason why I called it that was because I had this great idea of having amazing teachers come and give like a little masterclass, because I used to do that for my studio, but I just thought it would be fun, to have that. So maybe one day that will happen. But I feel like hopefully my little lesson videos are like a little master class. That's just what we call them. Not that I'm a master or anything, but just that, it's called a master class when you have a group of people that you're giving a class to. So, but yes, I was thinking about this as well this week, is that it's so nice to be a music teacher. Like, I think that's the first title. And then I'm a violin and viola teacher as well. It's just that it's so important that we understand music. Otherwise, you can study an instrument and just have no clue what music is and how to create your own music. That's why I can sit here and like come up with stuff, even though I'm not very good at it. And I can still kind of make my own songs and everything. I'm sorry, I missed your question. Yeah, I think these strings just came with the harp. I've never had to change one, but it's very easy to tune a harp. It's so easy to play the harp, I think. And when we learn music, I think we need to learn many instruments. It's not just that we just learn one, and you'll notice, oh my goodness, no, you're not ignorant at all. You're just asking questions. I don't know the answer to many of them because I'm the ignorant one. So I don't know that we're gonna finish all of the modes today, but let me see if I can just sit here and play just one last little song, see what comes out. This is all for all of you guys. It's gonna be in the Dorian mode, of course. So, and then I have to go serenade my friend at her store, so. When you hear a note in your head and you can't find it. So let's see. There you go, my loves. So I hope you enjoyed our little breakfast chat. And yes, I'm just noodling through. I just took the F Dorian mode and I was basically in the left hand here just playing an F minor chord, just F, A flat, C. And then I went down to the chord right below that, which is E flat. And then back to the 1. Back to the E flat one right before it. And then back to your 1 chord. And just with that, you can just kind of improvise using those notes or whatever. So yes. I know. Well, you know what? Last little music lesson before I go. I just can't stop talking. You keep asking me all these interesting questions. Here's the basic, first of all, rhythm. This is so important. Rhythm is so important. And then on top of the rhythms, then we have the harmony. So since we have an instrument here with lots of notes, let's listen to, see if we can hear this musical sentence. So if I was just playing this rhythm, if you're just sitting around and I just played you this for a while, it'd be probably a little bit boring. But if I jump up to the 5th, I could kind of noodle around with these. The one below. And then I can come all the way back down to, can you hear it? To the 1. One below. So in music, we have these pillars, the 1 and the 5. And all these other notes just kind of like flutter around those, and you can create melodies from that. And you can learn all about that in medieval music, because that's what you'll see in medieval music. They're really staying within a smallish range, and it all resolves, it's all centered around the 1 and the 5. It's an ancient Greek thing, I think. The Greeks loved the perfect fifth. Thought it was very, very important. Okay, I have to go, my dears. Thank you so much for joining me and my lovely harp. And I will see you, let's see. I actually have some really awesome things coming your way. So next week's video, I think, is going to be on reading. I'm so glad you guys loved it. The next lesson video that's coming out on Wednesday is how to read the notes on the violin. I need to do one on how to read the notes on the viola as well. But then I have a special little sneak peek. Well, it's actually the whole video of how I teach my studio scales, and that's already on Patreon. That video I'm so proud of, because I hired my friend who plays the cello to give us a cello drone. And then I played a scale over that, and then in the video you can hear me playing it in thirds. So it's really, really neat to be able to hear that harmony, because I usually do that with my students, but just single-handedly on my own. I can't play like, three notes at the same time. I can't have a drone going the whole time, and then the scale, and then me playing in thirds all the time, just me. So it was nice to record all of that on GarageBand so that you can hear the harmonies. And so that's going to that's already on Patreon, and that's going to be a scale series that's going to be all completely on Patreon. We're going to go through all of the major and minor scales with all the sharps and all the flats. It's going to be a nice long series, and it's an introduction, so it's really there for you to get to know the sound and the feel of those scales, and know what they sound like, know how to play a simple 1 octave of them. And along with that, I'm going to be giving you a little audio file so that you can play along as well. It's just going to be an audio file of a cello drone and me playing a 1 octave scale. And then you can play along with me, or you can play it 3 notes ahead of me. So it'll sound really, really pretty. So for example, that would be equivalent to this. Playing it in thirds together, so you can really, really hear the colors of the harmony. So there's that. And anyway, the whole thing will be on Patreon. It's just $1 to subscribe to Patreon, you guys. Please support me there. It's Violin Viola Master. No, it's patreon.com/Violin Viola Masterclass. I'm going to just put the first video of the scales on YouTube for free. And then I'm going to put the first audio file of that on YouTube for free as well. But it's all going to be on Patreon, and each week that'll be our mini lesson, although it's about a 20-minute lesson. So you're getting your money's worth. But anyways, I'm going to love and leave you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful week. I'll see you on see those of you on Patreon on Monday for our lesson. That's going to be the audio file so that you can play along with the scale that we learned last week. YouTube's going to be, I think, how to read the notes on the violin, I think. And then thank you so much. And then we'll do our little Friday get together, provided I'm, alive and feeling well and all good. So please do continue to reach out to me. Please, please, please reach out. I love meeting you guys. Come meet me for a lesson. And that way, I can help you along your musical journey if you need any help. When you study an instrument, it's wonderful to be able to weekly study with a teacher. But I know that that's expensive, and that's why I come and do these things for you. That's why I have my Patreon thing for you guys. But anyway, I'm here for you guys, and I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so, so grateful that you're here. Yes, and I will wear a mask, and I have lots of fabulous scarves. It's really an opportunity for me to, be styling with all my scarves. So I'll see you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.